One of the things that comes to mind first when I think of Morrowind is the great houses, the great dark elf houses, and the often very kind of complex and delicate political balance between all of them.
They are very different in the way that they appear and their role in that society. You could walk in one direction in Vardenfell and come across a landscape and a people that's very different from the one that you just experienced not 15 minutes ago in another part of the island.
When we were, designing some of the outfits and the armors for the game, like if I had to summarize it in one word, alien, I think is a really good word to describe that. A lot of these armors, when you wear them, you look uniquely Morrowind. It's really a look that you wouldn't see anywhere else in Tamriel. We wanted to capture some of those armors that are really familiar to players, capture some of the classic nostalgia, and bring something that was familiar but definitely looks kind of alien.
The creatures themselves, I think, did a really good job of also selling the world that you were in.
You'll be wandering around, enjoying yourself in the environment. You hear that first sound and it's like, cliff racers. Where is it?
I also really like the Quama in the scrib. They're pretty cute for strange buggy creatures. Also in the Morrowind chapter, we had these very cute little creatures called the Vardvarks, which is a fun play on Vardenfell and Aardvark.
They're spiny-tongued, scaled little beasties that are somehow, despite all these things, adorable, pocket-sized. The fact that they were a failed Telvanni experiment just makes them even more fun. Then you get what they use for transportation quite often, the silt striders.
Think the most disgusting flea and just magnify it by about 8 million. If you run up to it with your character, you're like looking way the hell up there. They are giant.
There's plenty of spaces and cultures and lands in Tamriel that are sort of in that more traditional sense, high fantasy or traditional fantasy or medieval fantasy. But Morrowind is the game that gives us permission to go crazy every once in a while and show something unusual and alien. And going back to Apocrypha was going to give us that chance to do it again. So that's always something we look forward to.
The secret that sort of lies at the heart of every dark elf, that drive that makes them reach out for power, that is a thing that's part and parcel of the Telvanni.
We're heading into the Telvanni Peninsula. We're also getting to see Apocrypha, which is like this really ultra spooky, creepy area, and I just love that stuff.
Finding the visual cues, finding the metaphors and the visuals that can connect the two of them, and yet keep them both distinct and keep them both within their own, lore space is always fascinating and always fun to do.